Hey, cunts, don't forget to click the subscribe button.
How many are from March? Oh. See, I was hoping, like all the other guys, that you never come back. And then and we don't give her a refund, so you don't ever get your money back, so then I'm up. But maybe when you spend 20, 25 grand, then you do come back. I.e., here you are. And we had a few of you from March in the last seminar, which was just 2 weeks ago. And we've got a few left. Most of the kids that were here in March have gone off. And almost all of them have followed the QLA methodology incorrectly. Didn't I say that? I said, I know I'm making a mistake here, but I'm getting soft. I was almost 75. I said, well, fuck, I'm going to give you the material, right? Remember I said that? I will never fucking do that again. Because you can't help yourself. And some of you are where you are in life because you can't help yourself. Allah blessed us because we're set up for a Corona era. I don't hope Corona lasts 25 years, but we're ready for it to last at least 5 years. And this is the Corona number 2 seminar because the last seminar that we gave a couple of weeks ago was, to say that it was Corona-centric would be an understatement. When you came in March, it wasn't that because we didn't really know what was going on in March. We do now, or you hear what's going on. I have probably better sources of information than you do. But the seminar from this point forward, or actually from the last seminar forward, 2 weeks ago, is Corona-centric, and we will talk to people this week that are doing deals in the Corona environment. We're going to talk to them live. You know how they say on Saturday Night Live, it's Saturday Night Live! Well, we're going to talk to them live. And I told one or two of you earlier today in a private time that I still don't understand why the live webinars are so fucking popular with the meatheads. It's like the book, I'm from Venus and Mars, some bullshit book that was written 20, 30 years ago, where it's like a foreign language because I was raised that the only way you learn is by doing. The last 25, 30, 35 years is they're raised, they want case studies and they want this and they want that. And even though there were case studies at the more prosperous schools, which I didn't go to, I never understood. And that's why I chased people like Constantine Gratsos down of Onassis amongst one, because he was the best, I thought, at the time. I now know. And so I chased down extremely successful people and to learn by. And now I eat podcasts. For the life of me, I don't get it. And I made a huge mistake at Oxford University 5 years ago when people were asking me about podcasts. And for those of you, the pundits that really know what I've said, I said, podcasts, forget about it. There's only 4 or 5 that have made any money. At that time, I was correct. But now there's 4 or 5,000 or 4 or 5 million, I don't know, have made money, and I got that market wrong. I grossly underestimated how a fucking meathead would listen to some cocksucker who's made no fucking money, but he's got a podcast and he gets a couple influencers to sell to you. And tomorrow morning I'll go into more depth. But not that I give a shit, but I've taken some amount of heat because I said the last seminar, we're going to talk about how the Corona numbers are 10 times worse. And everybody came back to me, not everybody, a lot of people came back, oh no, Dan, they're 10. No, there is no Corona. And we're going to go over a study tomorrow morning put out by MIT, which is reputable. And I predicted the second wave, which we're just going into. And I'm predicting a third and a fourth wave. And it's only going to get worse. And I couldn't be happier. All my birthdays, I just turned 75, all my birthdays came at once. I don't know whether to shit or go fucking blind. I'm so fucking happy. I had a billionaire mentee call me with a belated birthday wish a couple days ago. And he said, "Did these fucking idiots realize you said all this was going to happen?" No. No, they don't. Do they realize how easy it is? No. Is it still the percentage of the people who will actually take action still as low as it used to be? It's lower. And he laughed and chuckled. Because you don't understand. And the kids, now some of you had to go through some, how many did quarantine, self-quarantine before you got here? Fuck you, good. We should have charged more. Okay? But yet, and who's the one that was treated like a leper in St. Andrews? You look kind of like a leper, so I can understand that. You're kind of an untrusting kind of guy. I wouldn't trust either. I tell the story. It's not a story. For those of you that are old enough to remember when the volcanoes in Iceland, from volcanoes, and all the airports were shut down and you couldn't travel and yada. We had, there was supposed to be 20 people at the seminar. 14 showed up. All German. Every fucking one of them was German. Not one other ethnicity was represented at the seminar other than German. And that's why 3 of the last 4 superstars I've had, not one, are all Germanic. Because when the Nazis get it, they fucking get it. Fortunately for the rest of the world, they're slow. Because they need all the T's, all the I's dotted before we can take another step forward. All the T's. And we're lucky they didn't wake up Hitler from the fucking nap he was taking when we landed on Normandy Beach. Otherwise, we'd be speaking Hermanville. And we're lucky that the Japanese decided after they bombed Pearl Harbor for them to turn back. West of the Mississippi, we'd all be talking Japanese. East of the Mississippi, we'd be talking German. Serendipity played the part. It must be Allah's will. Allah's will. Well, what you're going to learn or reconfirm here the next week or so is that it couldn't be better for us. It absolutely, we're going to see, not case studies like that you kids want, but kids that are going to be on these screens in the next few days that are doing deals right today and that have done deals right today. And there's going to be 1 or 2 or 3 common themes. 1, there's no competition. 0. 2, there's all the money in the world available. And 3, the sellers are 10 times more motivated today than they were a year ago. Common theme. Common theme. Now, whether you pull the trigger or not is a whole other story. And having done this long enough, 27 years, I realized that, I was telling a couple of you earlier that we've got a couple success stories that took 12 or 13 years. You don't want to hear that. And we've got other success stories that did in less than a year. That's what you want to hear. But you're not that guy that did it less than a year. We've got a couple in here that could be the twin brothers of the 12 and 13 year stories. The more education you have, the harder it is. The least education. But you don't even have to read and write. We've had people be successful that can't read or write. I told one of you that and he didn't believe me. Now, this is a Trump exaggeration. He signed his name with an X. Now, that's a bit of a stretch. But not much more. Not much more. Yet you will find ways. I've already had somebody in my one-on-one time. I've been this close. I've been this close. That only counts in horseshoes. Nobody gives a shit that you've just been that close. Nobody. But you're going to have the tools, and I hate to use toolbox because that's an overused phrase, but you're going to be the conductor because of the 20 or 30 or 40 financial instruments in the world, there's only one that we use. And we don't use that often. That often is commercial debt. Commercial debt. Several of you have been to see private equity people already. I told you not to. Some of you have gotten fucked by Israelis, which I told you not to. Some of you have been fucked by fellow Middle Easterners, which I told you not to. But you can't help yourself. And why can't you help yourself? Because your parents did a shitty job. You said you were on good terms with your parents, right? I feel sorry for you. And that's where you are. I'm not interested in the terms that you had with your parents, as long as they weren't pedophiles. We got those too. Back in the 90s, I used to point out the guys that got fucked in the ass by their father. I don't do that anymore. Because I'm a kinder, gentler person now. And if you think getting fucked in the ass by your dad that you ever get over it, you are fucking crazy. 40% of the women come here have been abused by their father and or brother. You never get over that. And for those of you that think of a single parent, we have some of you that have been raised by a single parent. I used to go and just make you cry and just beat you, but I don't do it. I'm an old man now. I'm easy. If you think that one parent's as good as two, go fucking jump in front of a bus. Metaphorically speaking, of course. Because I wouldn't want anybody to kill themselves. Because we all deserve. That's bullshit. And that's why you are here. Not everybody deserves to be fucking born. And we're going to show the other ones that should have rolled down the inside of their mama's leg that they shouldn't have been born, because we're going to take all their money legally, morally, and ethically. At the end of every crisis, since Cain and Abel, let's go back before that. Since Adam and Eve, there are people that benefit from the apocalypse and the majority don't, correct? This is our motherfucking time. We're going to ride, if we were in the seminar room, which we're not, I keep on pointing and there's a picture. We're going to ride like the 4 motherfucking horsemen of the apocalypse. And we're going to take their money morally, legally, and ethically. You either want to be liked or you want to be effective. It's your question and it's you to answer. You want to be liked or you want to be fucking effective. Everybody in this room is a pleaser at one degree or another. I've been called a lot of fucking things in my 75 years. But I can guarantee you one of them isn't a pleaser. Some people say QLA is going out of your way to piss on people and take their fucking money and fuck them where they breathe. That's a little harsh, but true. But true. This is the time. This is the time. And the kids, they were making some comments about some famous guy 100 years on. And when I do watch TV, I watch the History Channel, public broadcasting, that kind of thing. And they were talking about him, and I said, Sally, I wonder what they're going to say about me. But see, one of the reasons that you see former prime ministers, former presidents of the U.S. try to build their legacy after they're president. They have presidential libraries, etc., right? Because they realize they're probably going to be the last persons that write about him for 50, 100 years until history takes him into account. And one of the reasons I do, and I switched 10 or plus years ago to giving the stuff free, other than to take the last excuse you have why you can't do this because the information is free, is that 100 years from now, I still want people to be able to use the QLA. Because unless something dramatically changes in the financial system, and I'm not saying it won't, but until something changes, I mean, QLA is king. There isn't anything better that you can do with no money. We've got 2 or 3 of you fucking meatheads that have tried to put your own money in. If you looked at my website for 30 minutes, you know it's not supposed to be your money. Other people's money, OPM, other people and other people's money are the 2 biggest levers in life. Other people, the efforts that they put forth, sweat, etc., and other people's money are the 2 biggest levers in life. If it wasn't for those 2 levers, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be here. The seminar is set up like this, as you know, and we eat just on the other side of that curtain. And you also have separate rooms, separate bathrooms. You're not supposed to congregate. I heard 3 or 4 of you talking in the study earlier. And I told my wife, and my wife was, there's no alcohol. We used to have alcohol and hors d'oeuvres and bullshit in there. But now there's just water, I guess, right? What? Coffee. Dinner's served. My wife is trying to give me the yank off the stage, but I'm not done talking. So let the fucking dinner get cold. You're not here to make friends. You're not here to, well, I mean, I don't really care about your sexual persuasion, but if there were women that say swap bodily fluids. But so I'm okay, you're okay, fuck me in the ass, I guess, I don't know. I don't care. I don't want to know. Although I'd be a disingenuous old bastard if I told you I knew that didn't happen here. Because I know it happens here. I just don't want to know. Sally and I sit up in our lofty ivory tower and, give it to me, honey. We try to ignore that shit. Some of you, guys are bigger screamers than girls. And it's because getting a dick like this up a guy's ass is not easy. And for some of you that are from the world where that's okay, I don't want to get into that. That's not that kind of seminar. But by the smiles on your faces, you know what I'm talking about. After dinner, you will group here again, and we show homework every night. Tonight's no exception, where you're going to see a couple of films, 1 major film and 2 or 3 others, which you will be required to write your takeaway, bullet points, etc. You will type that up and send it to Kim. If you don't do the homework, and by noon, when Kim tells me, because I read all your shit at noon when I don't have lunch with you, and I go off to read your homework, if you don't have your homework done, and Kim have it, after lunch you will be escorted by security off the estate. Homework is not at your discretion. Homework is for me to see if you're getting it. What we're teaching here. That's number 1. Number 2, we don't have boxing anymore for a lot of obvious reasons. If you fight with each other, and it happens all the time, you're off the estate. No money, and there's no money back for anything, okay? If you drop dead tonight, there's no money back. So don't have your fucking estate lawyers contact us. And tomorrow morning, we'll go over the homework, and we will pick 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 of you. We first ask for volunteers. If there's no volunteers, then I just pick you and tell me what you thought about such and such. Tell me what you thought about this and that. This is a life-changing event, and for those of you that might have been disillusioned to think that I've gained some bit of humanity, you're wrong. I haven't. The bell? Edward? Dinner is served in the next room.